This video is about one of the great Roman cities of Britain, Lincoln, and what remains today. Lincoln really should be better known, especially in the UK. This is the only surviving Roman arch in Britain, a trifling remnant compared with what else you can see around the Roman world, but a big deal for Roman Britain. It formed a gateway in the Roman wall around the city, and, despite the locals' best efforts to bring it down, it has been struck by lorries at least 3 times, remains proudly defiant and above ground. It originally had a main arch for vehicles and a smaller arch each side for pedestrians. I enjoyed walking through the remaining pedestrian arch and imagining who else had walked through it before me. The arch looks small today because the ground surface has risen over time, but the remains of a bastion or defensive tower in the wall next to it give an idea of how ground level in Roman times was a couple of metres lower than it is now. Lincoln is 30 miles from the North Sea coast and towers above an extensive area of flat land. You can see why the Romans chose this spot for its military settlement, with the view dominating the land around it. This is Steep Hill, with its 1 in 7 gradient, one of the oldest roads in the city and said to be the steepest road in Britain. There is another reason why the Romans decided to settle in Lincoln, which we'll see in a moment, and which I found breathtaking, as I had no idea it was there, but we'll come to that. There are other Roman remains to see. This is the so-called Mint Wall, which is little known nationally, but is one of the finest remaining sections of Roman buildings anywhere in the country. It is tucked away behind the Castle Hotel, and nothing is made of it as a thing to see. It is thought to have been part of the wall of the Roman Basilica, or public hall in the Roman Forum, on which the medieval Lincoln Castle was built. The castle is not Roman, but you can imagine it as the Roman Forum, and there are markings on the ground showing where the columns of a portico were located, and also the Forum's well. Ancient Rome is literally just beneath the surface in Lincoln, and there are lots of reminders as you wander around, even if sometimes it's just signs telling you what probably lies under your feet. I completely missed that there's a section of the Roman gate on Steep Hill and walked straight past it. Annoyingly, there's much that remains visible, but is on private land, so we can't see it for ourselves. If you want to come face to face with the Romano-British, how about this statue of a boy holding a hare? Sadly, it's from a tombstone, but we don't know the story or whether the hare is a symbol or perhaps a pet. Some people see this image as a sign of the Romano-British mixing Roman and Celtic practices. In fact, the name Lincoln, or Lindum as the Romans would have called it, comes from the Celtic word lin, which means pool, just as Dublin in Ireland is believed to mean dark pool. Near to the castle is the wonderful Lincoln Cathedral, built by the Normans in the 11th century, and said to have taken the place of the Great Pyramid of Egypt as the tallest man-made structure when steeples were added to it in 1311. Although they collapsed a couple of centuries later. The cathedral is not Roman in origin, but does contain a mosaic which was found in Lincoln, and like many other churches in the city, contains stones and tiles from the Roman city. There are many other Roman remains, including sections of the city walls, foundations of gatehouses, a water storage tank near to the site of the Roman baths. I won't show you pictures of all the Roman remains, as to my untrained eye, a lot of them look very similar, but you get the idea. Now, I said there was another reason for establishing the city at this particular spot, and that is the River Witham at the foot of the hill. It connects Lincoln to the North Sea near Boston and would have been navigable as far as this point. The Romans made the most of a natural lake known as Brayford Pool and turned Lincoln into a port, despite being 30 miles from the sea. The Roman Forum would have been more or less where Lincoln Cathedral is, which you can see above you here. I had no idea the waterways would be as impressive as this, and it was a memorable moment when I came out of the narrower medieval streets and stumbled across such a wide area of water and boats. The Romans are thought to have constructed the Foss Dyke to connect Lincoln to the River Trent, and thus a large section of the river network of England, and the canal remains in use today, and is taken advantage of by narrowboaters and other river traffic. The famous High Bridge crosses where the River Witham is about to join the pool. The bridge was built in the 12th century and houses on it date from around 1550. This sort of bridge was common in the Middle Ages, but very few remain like this in the UK today. It's known locally as the Glory Hole, which I will certainly be using as a tag for this video, in the hope of attracting a greater number of views. What I like about Lincoln is you still get a sense of the Roman presence here. Whether it's the influence of obviously Roman roads such as Tilbridge Lane, also known as the A1500, Ermine Street, which ran down to London, and the Foss Way from Lincoln to Exeter, still shape the current road network in the UK. And I couldn't help noticing other reminders of the days when Lincoln was better connected to the rest of Europe. I hope you found this video interesting. It is true that Roman remains in Britain are often paltry in comparison to what you can see elsewhere, but I like the fact that they are still there, usually hidden beneath the surface, but never too far away, and sometimes coming to light, just like this mosaic found in February 2022 in Southwark in London. My personal favourite is a hairdresser in Leadenhall Market in London who, if you ask nicely, will let you go down to the basement and see its Roman terracotta floor. If you would like to see more videos vaguely connected to things Italian, please do click the like button, subscribe, and do things which are friendly to the all-powerful YouTube algorithm.